You're listening to DraftKings Network.
Did you know that your heart attack risk can more than double when your home team is playing? We're encouraging all sports fans to learn about their personal heart risk factors so they can keep their hearts in the game. Heart disease is the #1 cause of death in the U.S. due to often invisible risk factors. To help educate you on those risks, Bayer Aspirin created the Bayer Aspirin Heart Health Risk Assessment Tool. The tool quickly assesses an individual's personal risk of developing cardiovascular disease so they can discuss their heart health risk factors with a healthcare professional as part of an ongoing health management. Learn more and assess your risk factors at checkyourheartrisks.com.
Today's episode of the Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz is brought to you by Peloton.
Welcome to the Big Suey, presented by DraftKings,
Why are you listening to this show?
the podcast that seems very similar to the other Dan Le Batard podcast.
I'm sorry, I'm not going to apologize for that.
In fact, the only difference seems to be this imaging.
I have been tempted in restaurants just walking past tables to grab somebody's fries that if they're just there. That hasn't happened to you guys?
I've done it.
And now, here's the marching man to nowhere, Fat Face, and the habitual liar.
Stugotz, there are a bunch of things that I do want to get to, but not before burying Jeremy Taché for what he just did at the end of that segment.
Yeah.
That Billy, who's in charge, seemed to enjoy. So I'm going to have to get to the bottom of what's happening here, because if Billy's going to be in charge, I'm going to need Billy to be in charge. And but I'm going to explain. But I'm going to explain not only to the audience, but you too, Billy, what happened to me at the end of that segment, lest you think that it not take just a little bit to produce me. My friend's emotional behind me on a genuinely emotional moment. I cannot see him. He's talking to me. I can feel him, but I cannot see him. Normally he'd be sitting here, and I know that if I did see him, he would start crying and I would start crying.
Same.
And if that had happened, I was worried that it wouldn't be quite as authentic as it would feel if I was seeing him eye to eye, and so I just threw the show to Lucy and her stalking story.
Good story.
And yeah, it was a good story. And she held it for 90 seconds, at the end of which Jeremy whispered into my ear, "Hey, Dan, I can earnestly walk the old man right into the hard net workout if you just toss me the ball from here." And Stugotz and I have told Jeremy for 6 months, you talk too much. You cut it up a little bit. It's too fat. And so he earnestly walks him to the break and then stumbles over the finish line. And he wants to be a performer.
Well, for what it's worth, it was a loose ball. I thought you were going to toss the ball back so I could let them know, hey, let the hard network out breathe for a second.
Right.
And then I grab the loose ball and I run. I run with it. And then Billy cuts me off with the hard network out.
What?
I am furious by this. I cannot believe what you just did to me, Billy.
He still sounds happy even when he's furious.
He has an Emmy.
I'm happy.
The junior member
so
of the
cool.
Hee Haw 3 deserves more respect than that.
Thank
I'll tell
you,
you that
Greg.
right now. Right now.
He tried to lead you into the hard network out.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Weren't you going to lead us in musically today? I thought you were going to lead us in. I thought you were here to.
He missed the pre-show meetings.
Bright light city, gonna set
there
my
we go.
soul, gonna set my soul on fire. Viva Greg Cody. Viva Greg Cody. Viva, viva Greg Cody. So good.
I thought that we were going to lead each segment today with him singing us into the break like we were going to be a show that does things with a musical act, a rising star musical act.
Yeah, but Jeremy wouldn't stop talking, so we couldn't
I
end the
hate you
segment
guys.
with that. Yeah.
All of you.
We're trying.
Except for Lucy.
All right, Greg, I don't know if you're going to do the whole show back there or not, but I'd like to talk about a different show because Lucy watched The Daily Show last night, and I was eager to see what Jon Stewart would do, Stugotz, because I had not even realized the dilution by degrees that has been that show with Trevor Noah, and I mean it as no insult whatsoever to Trevor Noah. Jon Stewart, an impossible act to follow. But when he came back and was the same Jon Stewart, and you're like, oh my God, this is a voice of our times. This is the comedic voice of our times in the funny space, I was delighted to hear that Lucy was just eating it up last night.
Oh, it was awesome. It was like he didn't miss a beat at all. Now, I know I'm like young, but when when Jon Stewart retired from The Daily Show, I was 16. But my dad made me watch The Daily Show as a kid growing up, which sometimes felt a little inappropriate for my age, but for the most part, I'm grateful for it. So I've like grown up with Jon Stewart and always loved it. It was so natural. It was like just a reminder, like Trevor Noah didn't do a bad job, but it's so clear that Jon Stewart is the absolute best at what he does. Like there is no second place, and just it felt exactly like the old Daily Shows felt to me.
I'm not sure that Trevor Noah, who seems a kind and decent person, would object to what I'm about to say on his behalf. That he made that show that great and held up the legacy of Jon Stewart is a tribute to what a great job that he did in an impossible position to follow that guy. And he did it honorably, did it well, and the burden of it eventually is like, okay, I'm going to do stand-up. It's going to be more relaxed. It's not going to have so much politics in it. It's not going to be 80-hour work weeks grinding because nobody knows how hard it is to make those things well.
But you guys were surprised that Jon Stewart was still able to do it the way Jon Stewart has always done it?
This is perfect for a number of different reasons. He's only going to be able to do it once a week. He cannot live the life of 5 times a week being smarter than everyone else with a writer's room. John Oliver needs weeks and months off with many writers to be the smartest thing every week. Look, let me explain to you the degree of difficulty on what it is that man created as a legacy. They come into the space, they're the talk of our times, they say the smartest things best, funny and smart, fair. That's how he became the newsman of our generation, Stugotz. Like, now people are grabbing on to Chappelle and Rogan and wherever, and Russell Brand and wherever it is that they want to find they're funny. This dude in America, during a less complicated time than this one, is coming out of retirement because it's important that you hear his voice when Apple didn't want it. Apple didn't want that voice for our times. So he said, I'll do this on Monday, once a week, in the most important election year that we've ever had.
It's interesting that Lucy's into it because I've been reading that ever since he left, the age has just gone up. When he was there originally, the median age was 48, and now it got up to 63. And I feel like if we really want this show to get back, it needs to that number needs to be lower.
People need to understand that he is the standard for political commentary and comedy. There is none better. He is the best. And the fact that he has the energy that he was pouring into that Apple show, which was amazing. The Apple show was where all of his efforts creatively. Now it's going to be once a week, right up until the election. Monday night, you're going to have to watch him on wherever it is, not wait for it either. Like, he's going to guerrilla his way into the game where, okay, Bill Maher, John Oliver, you're the voices for our time. No, now I've got my team back with me that carried my legacy with Trevor Noah, and I'm going to kick your ass every Monday election night, and I'm going to do late night better than Colbert. I birthed him. Better than Oliver. I birthed him. My tree's the most amazing thing in the game, and he's coming to talk. Man, he's been fighting for veterans. He's been fighting for first responders. He's been on the right side of everything, and we trust him to be a voice during these times. I cannot wait for the next, 26 weeks of what he does with that platform.
But what does it actually mean, though? What is him being back, other than the satire around this stuff is better, it's smarter, we enjoy watching it more, but does it actually make a difference? Does it change people's votes?
Will his voice make an impact? It's a good question.
Yeah, he's like the one person where if you look at political commentators, I know he's more of a comedian, both sides really do like Jon Stewart, not the extreme people on either side, but he's someone who his voice and his satire just cuts through all of the bullshit that I genuinely I know people who are on the different side of the political, spectrum as I am, and they like Jon Stewart as well, just because he cuts through it all with his humor.
But what if Superman and Batman decided to only solve crimes on Monday?
Yeah. 5 days a week?
I feel like,
if it's that important.
We're leaving up a lot of time for crime.
As soon as you get to Tuesday, you're like, all right, we got 6 days.
Exactly right.
Do this.
Then the criminals just take off Monday, I would think, right?
Well,
they're not 50 though.
But he's saying things that are happening throughout the week, Billy. It's not like he's just talking about things that happen on Monday.
I know, but if the election and the times are that important and you're a voice that can impact change, then you need to show up 5 days a week.
So it's not enough for you guys.
Correct.
What I was saying, I imagine the way that he's doing this is what the 80 hours of him that Apple was getting, that again, I will remind you, in the times of today, corporate Apple said, no thanks, Jon Stewart. We don't actually want the greatest of things. Even though the television you're making here for us is amazing, we're going to have creative differences. for them to now birth a freedom that Jon Stewart can pour all 80 of those hours into making sure that his show every week is what John Oliver's show. He's about to do what John Oliver does weekly, a sprint with comedy. And the reason that he does it so well is because, Lucy, during these times, political times, screaming at people, sermonizing, morally outraged doesn't work. But if you make them laugh, if you can make them laugh because you're unerringly fair all the time and you're funny, they will just like you and they will trust you more. And I'd kind of like some news people to be people we like and trust more when one of the platforms is fake news everywhere that kills journalism, as I try to prop up the remains of his career.
In a time where you have such an issue with, you know what, Greg? You go ahead.
He's doing just fine.
I interrupted him.
Yeah.
He's a team member. Go ahead.
He's propping you up.
It's on me. I got to stop talking.
It was a long pause by my dad. Like
Very long
We were all
pause.
looking
It's
like, is
so
he going
awkward.
here?
I was going to weigh in on Jon Stewart because now I haven't caught up and seen Monday's show yet. Okay, but I read an instant review that was actually mildly critical, and the genesis of the review was, is he too partisan for these times? Is the new Jon Stewart going to play in 2024 where he's sort of, playing both sides as a matter of
Is he too
course?
fair?
Yes. That
Is he too fair?
in essence,
No, he's saying, is he too left?
or too partisan or too bipartisan. Is that going to play in 2024 where everyone's divided and you have to take sides? That's not my opinion. That's what the review said.
That's kind of what I was asking. While I find him so entertaining, I'm curious if it will make a difference.
The middle is where the vote gets decided.
I hope it's yes. I'm not saying I don't think it will be. I'm
but
just in this day where everyone seems to be
Hold
so
on.
set in their ways.
What we've learned, Jeremy, especially since the last time Jon Stewart was on doing this show 5 days a week, is people are far from the middle. A lot of people are far from the middle.
But that's where the
There are
actual
extreme
election
lefts
gets decided.
And extreme rights.
Right, but
Yes.
those people exist and they're 40% on each side of it, and then there's a 20% in the middle. And those people are ultimately the ones who will swing this election in particular, where you have Biden and Trump going against each other, who both have the exact same approval rates. So ultimately, Jon Stewart can make as much of an impact as anyone in this sphere by being bipartisan.
Billy, you seem to be making faces. Is Jeremy talking too much?
Nah, he's doing his thing. He has an Emmy.
I really tried to get out of there quick.
Yeah.
I had so much more to say.
That was good.
You should have just talked. No one knew that Greg was trying to talk on the audio front. No one saw his hand.
Greg, are you out of material back there? I usually do the show through you. Are you going to sit here at some point? Or
You got to
gonna
invite
keep-
him to the desk, Dan.
Oh,
That's
you
part
think-
of being a
as a
musical
big-
guest.
Okay,
Exactly
let's
right.
do this. Do me
I
the
could sit.
favor. Can we? Let's
nice of
stay.
you.
Let's
Thank
give
you.
him a bonus YouTube segment here.
what?
Where Greg Cody? Yes, you heard me.
Oh,
We're
boy.
gonna go. That's right. Well, you're in charge now.
Well, it doesn't sound like it.
Greg Cody sings us into. He was supposed to be here. Greg, sing us in the way that you would normally sing us in if we had done this correctly, please.
Love, look at the two of us.
Vegas.
Too much beer last night, huh?
Yeah, my voice is spent.
Take it from the top.
I'm telling you, I have no top. That's the problem.
Start again.
Love, look at the two of us.
This is a new and unimproved Dan Le Batard show with the Stugotz. Gamble on by DraftKings.
Quality sleep can help boost your reaction time, recovery time, and performance. That's why the Sleep Number Smart Bed is designed for your one-of-a-kind, ever-evolving sleep needs. Only Sleep Number Smart Beds let you choose your ideal comfort, your sleep number setting, and feature cooling layers for more comfortable sleep. Sleep Number Smart Beds learn how you sleep and provide personalized insights to help you sleep better. It's like having a coach for your best sleep. Committed to improving your overall athletic performance? Set a quality sleep goal that's healthy and realistic for your lifestyle. Time your workouts. Sleep Number Smart Beds show your ideal sleep and wake schedule and best times for activities like working out and winding down based on your circadian rhythm. Log how long you slept. Sleep Number Smart Beds track the total time you sleep and the percentage of your sleep that is restful. Believe it or not, sleeping longer doesn't necessarily equate to more restful sleep. And now, during Sleep Number's President's Day sale, save 50% on the Sleep Number Limited Edition Smart Bed plus special financing for a limited time. Only at Sleep Number stores or sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, the official sleep and wellness partner of the National Football League. See stores for details.
TurboTax experts make all your moves count, filing with 100% accuracy and getting your max refund guaranteed. So whether you worked a side hustle to afford season tickets to your favorite sports team or moved states and adopted a new team, switch to TurboTax and make your moves count. See guaranteed details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Don Le Batard.
He said while you were off there, while the connection was bad, he had mentioned that you have lost a lot of weight and that he admires that. What got into you? Why did you decide? I thought it was all, I thought we enjoyed being about the munchie.
Yeah.
Oh, it's slurring again. Okay, the connection is bad again, unfortunately.
Back to Magnus.
Okay, back to Mr. Magnus, and this is going about as well as it could go. Thank you, Billy, again for laughing in my face.
Stugotz.
Magnus,
Hamilton's the worst. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Action.
Hello?
Action.
Man, I'm really sorry. This is literally the worst way to ever do this. This is burning my heart that this is happening, but if you could hear me, just understand I'm sorry.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
Greg Cody, you want to sing us in? You want to sing us in as if we're doing a bonus segment here for YouTube?
Drink it up. This one's for you. It's been a lovely cruise. I'm sorry it's ending. Oh, it's sad, but it's true, honey. It's been a lovely cruise.
That's why he's the star.
These moments will live.
That's on.
Yeah, thank you.
Encore.
Thank you all.
No, keep going.
No, I'm sorry. Please keep going. I didn't mean I didn't mean to
The
interrupt
opposite
you.
of an
We'll
kind of a long pause again.
remember these moments are shared by few of those harbor lights. Oh, they're coming into view, honey. It's been a lovely cruise. Boy, I really did leave my voice in Vegas.
That's all right. That's
Wow.
it. You left it all on the field.
Yes.
I mean, there's no look. What a performance! A tour de force for one solid week of living his best youthful life. He conquered Vegas. Look, Greg Cody, can you guys get me the sound of him on stage? And this is when we started to witness the descent. I believe he was complaining about his wife on stage and not missing his wife. Now, keep in mind, he's.
My wife and I had to talk about that.
Yeah, I'm sure you did.
I had to explain. It was just a bit.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
wait a minute. It's not just a bit.
You walk that fine line.
All right, listen. This was a moment of unbridled, uncommon honesty.
I am wondering, though, because Greg left as Greg and came back a big star. Is she looking at you differently, Greg? I mean,
Yeah, for sure, yeah. I think she's a little resentful. It's weird coming back down to earth, though. You know, one day, literally performing live on stage in Las Vegas, and the next day I'm in the pet aisle at Publix asking a guy why my brand of dog food isn't in stock right now.
Right.
And so, it's a down-to-earth moment. The paparazzi, obviously, were following me into Publix, so there wasn't a private moment for me. But, it was just weird having to come back down to earth. I asked my PA to get the dog food for me, and she just wasn't available at that time because she was making that arrangement for Hee Haw 3-Day in Miami-Dade County this morning, the thing we had. And so, it's been hectic. It's been hectic.
Right,
I will say I agree with him. The dinner at home after Vegas is always sad. It's like this hamburger helper just doesn't slap the same after a week in Vegas.
Billy?
I like my family. I had a nice time when
No, I didn't say anything about my family. The dinner, though. That first home dinner. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's like, just this packaged hamburger helper.
Sure.
Can you guys just get me the sound, though? This was Greg Cody at Maximum Relax. Keep in mind, we were there for the ascent. Chris, this is fair. An ascent into superstardom. He rocked the Super Bowl. Everyone took notice of Greg Cody. Wait a minute. What's that noise over there downtown? The coolest place, downtown Vegas. What happened? Surrounded by live music at the biggest party, Greg Cody. Greg Cody won the Super Bowl. And then he immediately forgot about his wife and everything that got him there. Are there any good Greg Cody stories not told by Greg Cody about Greg Cody before we get him out of here?
I have a couple, but I'm not telling them.
Baby!
That's my guy. That kind of thing. You know what I'm saying?
We don't.
No, you know what? I hadn't left the hotel until last night. I'm a very quiet man.
Yes.
You know, I'm a married man. I don't cheat on my wife, despite that gratuitous line back in my day that I wrote. You know, I wish you were here, my wife. I really miss her. No, I don't. That's the thing about being married. You know, you're not allowed to say, I don't miss my wife. I've been gone 2 days. I haven't been gone long enough to miss my wife. I'm sorry. I call her. I'm on the phone with her for 30 seconds. You know, what am I? Hello. All right. We'll see ya. All right. And then, you know, I'm going to see her in 2 days. How's Jumpin' Charlie? Good. And that's it.
That kind of thing.
Exactly. That kind of thing.
So you miss her or you don't miss her?
Make up your mind.
I miss you. You know, I wish you were here. You know, but no, I mean, come on.
Yeah, no.
I've been married for like 40 years, 43 years. Why? I'm allowed to be away from my wife. And you know what? She doesn't miss me, I guarantee you that. I guarantee you that. It's a break for her. She's on vacation without me there. Are you kidding me?
And you know it,
baby, and you know it. And you know it, baby, and you know it. And you know it, baby, and you know it.
And you know it,
baby, and you know it.
How's Jumpin' Charlie?
And you know it,
baby, and you know it.
How's Jumpin' Charlie was the greatest of the emotional intimacies he shared with his wife.
How's Jumpin' Charlie? Good.
What more are you going to say? I talk to her every day of my life.
Right.
You know, 2 days without talking to her wouldn't be a crime, but you have to call. You know, there's that obligatory
You
call.
have to call.
Yeah.
I will say, since we're getting emotional and perhaps Greg Cody doesn't realize this, no one enjoyed the absurdity more of you getting videos of you on that screen singing those songs, radiant, as happy as she's ever seen her man than your wife. I was sending her secret videos of all of that. And I will say this to the audience and to Greg Cody. The only reason that woman tolerates this fool is because he's funny. The only reason.
And the sex.
Whoa. Baby.
Baby! Hey, that kind of thing! I'm talking about that kind of thing!
How many times do I have to tell you to move a little further back from your mic? That's too far.
It's Greg, bitch.
Splash. He's a new man.
That felt like a Lewis line.
That's a T-shirt. That's a T-shirt. It's Greg with this persona right here.
And the sex.
That's an attitude. that is an attitude. You are telling others. Do you know what you're telling others about yourself when you give them this photo and I'm Greg? Only he can navigate these tough political times.
That's right.
He should be on instead of
Everyone
Stewart.
knows what he means. There's nothing behind the word bitch other than he's Greg.
You got that right. I'm Greg Cody, and that's how it was back in my day.
Do you have one this week?
Do you have
no.
one? Why don't you have one?
Tuesday after Vegas, Dan. Everyone knows.
Quality control, yeah.
You know, what stays in Vegas stays in Vegas, or whatever that line is.
Next week's
My
President's
back in my
Day, it's a
stayed
whole
in
thing.
Vegas. Hee-haw, three, ba-dap.
He's right. So do you want him to sit there or just keep doing whatever he's doing?
I like him up there.
Well, if I may, okay. If we're going to get to...
Are we going to do normal show or we're just going to have this the whole time?
Okay, no. I'm going to go
I'm so tired of this character.
I think it's going great.
Look at the smile on his
Well,
face.
you would, Billy, and this is why everyone fears putting you in charge.
Splash.
You let Jeremy ramble. You let
Come
him.
on.
You let him come in here whenever he wants.
Hell yeah.
He won an Emmy, Dan.
And you've got Greg Cody behind me. The key to this show is chemistry. You've got him behind me the entire show, and he wants to talk seriously about himself and how wonderful he was this week. Like, he doesn't want it to all be jokes. I'd say the only frustration that Greg has with me over, I don't know how much of our friendship is that he doesn't get to show his serious side more often, where Tony Kornheiser gets the best of him there because we're always jostling him into the clown position around here because his wife loves him the same way that I do. He's funny as the clown.
Same.
So are you. That's right. That is correct.
Yes, sir. Who needs me? Do I emote now?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Am I being serious now?
we've got 3 minutes left in the segment. There will be a hard net workout. These 3 minutes are exclusive to the YouTube audience live right now. Bonus content here to celebrate you. They're going to make your podcast the biggest thing this week with the Greg Cody Show featuring Greg Cody because you've got the exclusive interview with Hee Haw 3.
Right. Yeah, a lot of backstory on the origin of Hee Haw 3, which there may be a documentary coming up on that, but I don't want to reveal too much. The thing you did, Dan, yesterday was very kind, and you referred to the health issues I had a few years ago. And I hadn't really considered that a few years ago I would not have dared to go on stage anywhere, let alone Las Vegas, because I could not have gotten through a single song without coughing. And I don't think anybody but my wife knows how bad it got for me at one point.
No, we know. You were passing out at Highlight. We were all scared for you, Greg. You're stubborn, and everyone who loves you was deeply scared for you.
What people didn't realize, though, is that there was most of an entire year when I could not sleep in my own bed. I had to sleep on the far side of the house, as far away from Erlene as possible, because she needed her sleep. And I was chronically, continually, nonstop coughing to the point of tears. And I remember, sitting up at 3:15 a.m. and saying to myself, I cannot go on like this. Graceland, my granddaughter, was very young, and she was just beginning to talk. And one of the first things she said was, "Stop coughing, Pop." And I couldn't. And I really wondered how long I was going to be around to see her grow. And to have recovered my health to a large degree right now is a real blessing. And that all came forth in Las Vegas and being able to do what I did.
90 more seconds.
I'm out of material. I mean, I could start going into detail on how bad it got for me, but the point is, thanks to medicine and some good doctors and everything,
and laughter.
Yeah, laughter helps.
Medicine more though.
Laughter hurts.
Yeah.
Honestly, laughter.
Not Patch Adams.
Laughter is the best medicine.
At this point, laughter's the only thing that makes him cough.
That's true. If I laugh spontaneously, that does make me cough. I pop a couple of prednisone, my magic drug, magic pill, and I'm all better.
Now we're carried away.
So laughter's actually killing you. It's the worst medicine.
That's right. Yes. When I laugh, I come as close to death as
he laughs.
I
He starts coughing. He can't catch his breath, and then he passes out at Highlight. That's correct.
That's right. Yeah.
So laughter is not only medicine. Laughter is sickness.
Correct. Yeah, it's tough to balance that.
That really backfired on me spiritually.
I'm a laughing man.
Until you die.
I'm Greg Cody, and that's how it was back in my day.
You don't have one today, though.
No, I don't. I left it in Vegas. I had a script all written. I left it on the plane when I was sleeping for 19 hours in a row. And Jess, by the way, was drunker than me that night, and she stole my water. I want that on.
She did. Stole your water?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll tell
right
that
off
after
the
the break.
table.
Don Le Batard.
Did you guys see Gilbert Arenas' assessment of Zion Williamson?
Agent Zero.
Stugotz.
Did you answer my question there or no?
No.
Okay, very good.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
We will get to Ron Magill here in just a second. He joins us every single week. I want to get his thoughts on Greg Cody singing in Las Vegas. But, Greg, what has happened to Le Batard?
Who? Yeah, welcome back to the Greg Cody Show with Stugotz. Dan may or may not be back later. We miss him. But it's funny, Ron being on here, because he'll remember this. Back before I hit big in Vegas and used to be a writer, primarily a writer.
Right.
Ron and I actually collaborated on a book called The Pride of a Lion, which is screaming up the charts.
You are struggling, my man.
Are you okay?
Maybe all that
it was all the standing.
all that milk and coffee really helping your throat today.
Have some laughter for that cough.
Yeah, it's Vegas. Vegas is coming back and kicking me right
And
in
the milk.
But Ron,
But the book.
Yeah, the book. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Ron, you remember that book we collaborated on?
I do. It is screaming up the charts. It's been doing great. It's a bestseller. It's a editor's pick. It's all those things. Thanks to your incredible writing, which I guess now is taking the back door. I see the glasses. Is that the new Cody prop? The glasses, because I noticed them on stage in Vegas.
Yeah,
very apropos.
Right. Thank you. I I've been wearing big feathered hats as well, but I left that back at the ranch.
Listen, I got to tell you, I was impressed with the notes that you hit, and you're relatively being in tune.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank you. Oh, look at Man of White there. This is beautiful. Thank you so much, man. That's just great.
Thank you, Lucy.
But Greg, I had no idea you had those kinds of pipes. I had no idea.
I will take relatively in tune. I will take that as a compliment. I will put it in my pocket.
No, absolutely. Without any, there was no voice correction, none of that automated stuff, that auto-tune stuff
That's
they do
true.
for a lot of those artists.
Yep.
You were out there raw, as they say. Look at the way she reads the book and everything. You need whatever they're paying you is not enough.
And you know what?
Thank you.
By the way, Ron.
Same.
Since I wrote the book, I hadn't read the book, believe it or not, until last week. And
really?
And I read it.
You just read your book?
Yeah.
All right.
And I read, I read chapter at a time, but I didn't read the whole book cover to cover until my JFK to Las Vegas flight, which
there you go.
However
it's
long.
It's a great read.
Perfect.
It's a great read.
Perfect read for a flight. It
exactly.
Really
That's exactly what I've been trying to tell people.
Yeah. No, I took your advice on that because I remembered you saying that, and it was true.
You read your own book on a flight?
I did.
That's amazing.
I know.
I mean, you should.
We thought this show was self-absorbed.
It's weird, do you read your own book? I mean, if you wrote the book, you know what you wrote, so do you actually need to read it?
Not in public.
Yeah, that was a new experience for me, though. Well, I hadn't read it in private either, so that kind of thing. You can't read it while you're driving. You got while somebody else is flying the plane.
Do you have a question for Ron? Or?
Yeah, actually, I do. I do. Ron, this interests me, and it particularly interests Stugotz, probably. New York Times had a piece under the headline, Mammals with the Munchies. And basically it said that cannabis and THC is something that more and more zoos are using. Veterinary cannabis to improve to lessen the pain, to improve the health, lessen anxiety. Does Zoo Miami do that? And what do you think of it?
I think we have used some THC, based products, not extensively to the best of my knowledge, but I do know it's in the pharmacy. And listen, it's been, medically proven to work. So the fact that it works on humans tells me right away it could easily work on animals for everything from, like you say, pain medication to appetite stimulants. So who knows? I'm not a veterinarian, so I can't say for sure, but I know that there are things in the pharmacy that have THC in them.
Any extra laying around? I mean, just curiosity.
I got to tell you, Stugotz.
What do you mean? Serious question, Ron.
I got you. I'll look into it.
Okay.
Ron, what would happen if Stugotz did animal drugs?
Animal drugs are not a whole lot different than human drugs in a lot of ways. People don't understand that. They just sometimes have a different name or different, label, but they're very similar and sometimes identical to the human drugs that are used.
I got to get to the vet. Ron, which animal in the animal kingdom has the best singing voice?
Oh, it's got to be the birds. I mean, birds just have an incredible diversity of sounds that they can make. You look at things like minor birds, even our own state bird, the mockingbird. I mean, the different sounds when he's singing in the springtime, looking for a female, it's so melodious. It's so diversified. It's incredible. If you're talking about the sound, you look at something like primates, some of the gibbons, the siamangs that can make these sounds, the whale, which makes the loudest sound in the world. The blue whale, I believe, makes the loudest sound in the world. So it depends how you define singing. Is it intensity? Is it how much reach it has? Or is it how enjoyable it is to listen to? I mean, for me, I could listen to look at that. She's even showing the photographs and the drawings and sketches. Send me an address so I can send you a check because you deserve it.
Oh. All right, I will. Also, by the way, 3 pages in, doing great so far.
We should do an audiobook, by the way.
We should do that. We should, Greg, that's a good idea.
Yeah, in your voice, because, you got the voice for that.
Yeah, but it wouldn't make sense in my voice because when I says Ron Magill, it should be in your voice. I've
been reading it in Ron's voice, so I think I wanted Ron to narrate the audiobook. Also, I got to say, I've only read 3 pages, but it says I'm on page 26. Love that.
Oh, that's great.
Makes me feel like I'm
How encouraging.
Ron, what animal has the worst voice? Like if the animal were singing, it would just be unbearable.
Gosh, I don't know. I'm trying to think something as close to Stugotz as possible.
Well, thank you.
I don't know. I think it would probably be like a donkey, an ass of some sort.
A braying animal.
It sounds so painful.
Hee haw, three. Like that.
Any more questions?
No, that's it. That's my brain.
You want to throw it to video, or what do you want to do here?
Yes, this is interesting to me. Kangaroo on the loose. There was a 911 call out of Tampa last week featuring a woman who found a marsupial next to her pool. Let's take a listen.
It's B-roll. We're just gonna watch it, and you're gonna talk over
classic.
it. Dad, do play-by-play.
I can't even describe what I'm watching.
Oh my God!
Well, there's a kangaroo that's jumping.
You are the worst.
Next to a pool.
I'm terrified of kangaroos.
Kangaroo has hops.
Night vision.
Oh my God!
Or he's glowing for some reason.
Night.
Ron, do kangaroos glow?
No, they don't. But that's a thermal camera, so you're getting the body heat from the kangaroo.
Looks like the aliens in Miami.
Do they swim? Kangaroos?
They can if they need to. Yes, they can if they need to. And they understand they're incredibly numerous throughout the Australian continent. As a matter of fact, they're considered pests by a lot of the Australians. This is going to sound terrible, but a lot of vehicles that drive in the outback, they have these huge bars welded onto the front bumpers of their car because they hit so many of them and they don't want to do damage to their car.
Wow.
Ron, how is it legal to keep a pet kangaroo in the state of Florida?
Stugotz, if you knew what people keep as pets in their backyard in the state of Florida, you'd probably want to move. It's unbelievable. Everything from kangaroos to tigers to, massive snakes. I mean, people have kept things that should never have been kept as pets.
What's the craziest pet you've seen or you've heard stories about?
Just seeing some of these, massive tigers that people have in their backyards. It's pretty amazing to me that somebody I knew, a guy, a big caterer down here had a giraffe in his yard. I mean, a flipping giraffe. Yes, a giraffe in his yard. Okay, I'm not going to mention the guy's name because he's very well known, but he had a giraffe in his yard.
Ron, now we have a video of a chain-smoking goat, which is a sentence I never, ever thought I'd say.
That's me.
That's right. The goat of chain smoking. There's a goat in Nepal, and he appears to be smoking incense like Stugotz on a commercial break, a heater. Look at him. There he goes.
It looks like as if someone were just going up to a bunch of incense, inhaling them, and then taking a hit.
And then exhaling it. Look at this. This is incredible.
Exactly what he's doing. Listen, animals can become addicted to things just as people can. The fact that we subject animals to that for a video to get more hits is disgusting.
More hits, yeah.
This type of stuff to me infuriates me, to be honest with you. These people doing things with animals just to get more likes and all these clicks on their stupid videos on God blessed TikTok is just exploiting an animal for the sake of look at me, Louie. And that's exactly what it is.
If you handed a pack of cigarettes to an animal, would its instinct be to literally eat the pack of cigarettes, or would it be rebuffed by the smell of tobacco?
I'm not sure. It depends on the animal.
Yeah.
I know they've had a lot of chimpanzees literally smoke cigarettes just like human beings do.
Really?
Several primates. Oh, yeah, absolutely. And become addicted to it. So the fact that you don't have to teach them after the first hit because they become addicted to it and it's something they keep on going back to. The same thing, you can give sugar cubes to horses. They'll eat it till they die, and it will eventually kill them if they keep eating sugar cubes because it's an addictive thing. We can, as people, we got to be smarter than that and be a little bit more compassionate as to what we offer animals just because we think they like it. If your kid loves to eat chocolate all the time, is that all you're going to give it to him? No.
Hey, Ron, I have an adorable little cat, and he's my best friend, but he really loves jumping into cardboard boxes. Why do cats love cardboard boxes so much?
What it does is it's a safe way to kind of practice their predatory instincts. They love to lunge at things. It doesn't fight back, but it collapses, okay? It has some bounce to it. So it reinforces their predatory instincts to chase, to hunt, to stalk, and to pounce without causing them any serious damage. They're playing is what they're doing, but they're basically that play stems from that natural instinct to stalk and to hunt. And boxes, they make noise, they collapse, they slide around the ground. Cats love that stuff.
Ron, I'm catching up on this book, page 28, loving it so far. You talked about a little lion cub that got rejected by its mother. Whoa. What does that even mean?
You know, it didn't get rejected by its mother.
It said rejected her.
Wow. Well, no, she wasn't.
All right, Greg, taking liberties.
Milk. She wasn't producing enough milk because he was the only cub in the litter. He couldn't stimulate her enough to produce enough milk. So we had to augment her. But she never rejected him. She was an incredible, incredible mother.
I think this one's about a different cub because it talks about the cub before Kwasi that got rejected.
yes, before Kwasi. Oh, the first cub ever born at the zoo, yes, was rejected by her mother because her mother was a first-time mother and just didn't know what to do. She just absolutely, and that's not uncommon. In the wild, that's not uncommon, especially with first births. Animals end up dying because they're rejected as a mother who's inexperienced, doesn't know what to do.
So neither of you have read this book.
No, I read the book. I thought she was talking about.
It seems like you have. I mean,
I've read the book several times, as a matter of fact, and loved each time.
Thank you, Ron. We appreciate it. We'll talk to you next week.
Keep those glasses, Cody. They're styling.
Thanks, Ron. Thing.
Be warned that once you pick up a refreshingly cold drink from McDonald's and people see just how refreshingly cold that drink from McDonald's is, you may create drink envy. Because there are drinks, then there are drinks from McDonald's.
For a morning brew that really creates a stir, get any size iced coffee, including caramel and French vanilla, for just 99 cents before 11 a.m. Price and participation may vary, cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.